In this nitty-gritty Let's Play live stream, we're going to be playing American Mah Jongg at I Love Mahj. Today's topic is rules not in Mahjong made easy. If you don't already know, the National Mah Jongg League has published their own guidebook for how to play the game, and it includes rules and guidelines. One of the challenges, though, is that sometimes the league will establish rules in between publications, and there are omissions between publications as well. If the league makes a ruling, it may or may not be included in the latest edition of their official guidebook. So on my website, in the wiki, there's an article titled Rules Not in Mahjong Made Easy. So if you want to study that on your own after this event, feel free to do that. And if you have any questions, concerns, comments, findings of your own, send me an email. My email can be found in the video description below. Today, I'm just going to go through a presentation and we'll go over the rules not in Mahjong Made Easy and omissions from the last publication that are still current rules. Another one of the challenges is that, we're not going to go into this for now, but I just want to put this out there, that some of the rules don't have penalties. There's another wiki article called Penalty-Free Rules. And the reason for that is that the league has written the rules and guidelines for social games. So they feel that penalties in some situations shouldn't be applicable for social games. This is one reason why any tournament director tightens the rules for their events to ensure fairness. And also anyone who plays competitively may have house rules with tightened rules. For example, those rules without penalties have penalties. So we'll be talking about all these things in this short presentation. I believe it's short. Yeah, it's fairly short. And then we'll play at I Love Mahj and focus on gameplay with commentary. So before I share this presentation, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing about MAHJLIFE. Also, I want to say thank you to our moderators who will be helping monitor the chat. Today's format is nitty-gritty, which means we're not going to socialize. We're going to stay on topic, which is rules not in Mahjong Made Easy, and then we'll do gameplay with commentary. Before we get to this presentation, also, I want to give a shout out to our channel members who help support MAHJLIFE and all the activities that I do to help serve the community. And we have a new member, Rashea. I hope I pronounced that right. Welcome. If you don't already know, that's Lucky. He's our welcome committee. He's the welcome wagon. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Let me get it in presenter mode. So bear with me for 1 second, and also hold on. I have an itch. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to get a tissue. Okay, sorry about that. Had an itch. So let's get this going. Okay, now here we go. Okay, here's the presentation. So let's get going. Rules not in Mahjong Made Easy. The first one is, oh, and incidentally, some of the rules are written on the back of the card, but the real estate back there is not big enough, clearly for all the different rules and guidelines. So those are primarily the most frequently asked questions will be addressed on the back of the card. One of the rules that is not on the back of the card or in Mahjong Made Easy is that when the Charleston is underway, it must be completed. There are 2 rounds of passing. The first round is obligatory. Everybody has to participate. And then the next round is optional. Everybody has to be in agreement to continue. If even one player wants to stop, then everybody stops and everyone then can participate in the optional across. If the second Charleston is underway, it has to be completed. So the first Charleston or the first round, right across left. Second Charleston, left across right. Players can pass blind in either the first left or the last right. And then there's the final negotiation with players seated across from each other. The only exception to this rule is for East, because they have 14 tiles. They have a potential for winning before the end of the Charleston. And that is the only exception. If East has a dealt hand that matches a combination on the card, they can declare Mahjong. That's called a hand from heaven, and it's double value. If East develops their hand during the Charleston and they have a winning hand before their first discard, they can declare Mahjong then as well. And that is called an earthly hand, and it's also double value. Heavenly hand before the Charleston, earthly hand during or just after the Charleston, and it can only happen with East. And I just want to say at this point also, I disagree with the way the league has defined heavenly and earthly. I think it's a misuse of the earthly type of win, because in all other versions of the game, an earthly hand is when East discards the first tile and another player declares Mahjong on that tile. That is a true definition of an earthly hand. Heavenly hand or hand from heaven, earthly hand or hand from man. Those are how the other Mahjong versions do it. So I wish the league would change that, because if you have amazing success after the Charleston and you're ready to win and win on East first discard, I think that should be rewarded. But that's just my opinion. Okay, so we're going to go to the next one. East first discard is a joker. This can happen. I've never seen it done. This particular situation would be shocking for sure, but when they name that discard, they have to name it joker, because there's nothing that precedes it to say same. And one of the rules is that you can name a joker same, or you can name it the same as the previously discarded tile. Since there's nothing that precedes it, they have to name it joker. And this is not in any documentation. Well, I should say it's not in the guidebook, Mahjong Made Easy, or on the back of the card. The next one is about hand limitation and flexibility. This refers to the parentheses, the text in the parentheses for any hand on the card. So if there is text in the parentheses, read it, study it, because it can either give you limitation or flexibility for that particular hand. Sometimes the way that the hand is designed visually on the card does not necessarily mean it has to be that, because in the parentheses, it could be a little bit different. For example, let's look at an example. If you look at the third hand down under the year, pair of flowers, the year block, and then Kongs of 2 like numbers. Those like numbers could be 2s or 4s, because it says so in the parentheses. Another example is that, let's see here. Where was another one that happens all the time? There's another one in here. Oh, I thought there was another one that would make a really good example, but I can't find it readily. Okay, I know what it is. I got it. This one is a little bit challenging here. Fourth hand down under 369. Pungs of 3s, 6s, or 9s with the corresponding dragon. The pungs of number tiles have to be the same. They're shown as like numbers, and in the parentheses, it says pungs 3, 6, or 9. But that doesn't mean that you can have 3s and 6s or 6s and 9s. They have to be the same number. So just look in the parentheses for limitation and flexibility. And if you have any questions, ask your local instructor, or you can send me an email. I'll be happy to answer that, any questions you might have in regards to some of the nuances of hands on the card. Next, the beginning of a player's turn. A player's turn officially begins when they either pick a tile from the wall, or they claim a discard for an exposure or mahjong. So, and that is on the back of the card, by the way. However, there is another part of this that's important, and that is the window of opportunity on the previous discard. When a player picks a tile from the wall and they see that tile and it doesn't get racked, they can do a joker exchange, and that joker exchange closes the window of opportunity on that previous discard. So just by picking a tile from the wall, that is the beginning of a player's turn, but there's still that window of opportunity where that turn can be interrupted. So if someone, let's say, picks a tile from the wall and they start to look at it, but nothing happens on their side of the table, but then another player says, wait, I want the previous discard. Even if that tile that they picked could be used, let's say, for a joker exchange, they have to put it back because they didn't rack it and they didn't ask for a joker exchange yet. They have to put it back if somebody interrupts that because they want the previous discard. Now, if a player picks a tile from the wall and they look at it and they declare mahjong, the game ends. So that will close the window of opportunity. I do have articles on situations like this. So if you query the wiki for window of opportunity, you'll see some articles that have scenarios that explain these situations. The next one is a commitment to a joker exchange. When a player requests a joker exchange and the transaction is complete, they made the exchange, each player has the new tile, whether it be the joker for the player who asked for the exchange or the natural tile for the player who had the joker. Once that exchange is complete, that is when they're committed to it. The strange thing is I've never seen this happen in a game. Typically, when someone wants to do a joker exchange, they want that joker and they're certain that they want it. But I imagine that someone might have second thoughts once they realize that doing a joker exchange could give that player an opportunity for a jokerless hand, and they may not have thought about it. They might have been their judgment may have been clouded because they were excited about getting a joker. And then after the transaction, they thought, oh, wait a minute, they might have a pure hand now. I think I'll get my tile back. You can't do that. Once the transaction is done, you move on, and that you get the joker. That's just it. Can't change your mind. Okay, next, commitment to claiming a discard without tiles involved. A player can change their mind after claiming a discard if they have not exposed tiles on the flat part of their rack, or they have not placed the claimed tile on the flat part of their rack. When a player decides to follow through, the claimed tile must be placed on the flat part of the rack but there is no penalty if the player puts that tile in the sloped part of their rack. No penalty. This goes to what I was speaking to in the beginning, where the league felt it's harsh to say that player, it can be disqualified. So they just fix it. They need to just put it on the flat part of their rack, and then maybe not do it going forward, or do their best to change their technique. So when you claim a discard, once it touches the flat, or is fully placed on the flat part of the rack, or the player exposes tiles from their hand, they are committed. Okay, now let's see. This is without tiles involved. They can change their mind if they don't rack the claimed discard or expose tiles. So if they pick up the tile and it doesn't get racked, or they don't expose tiles from their rack, they can put it back and pick from the wall. So I apologize for the confusion on this title, because this should just be commitment to claiming a discard, period, really. A player can change their mind after claiming, oh, if they have not exposed. Okay, so it's fine. It's correct. I think I read it wrong at the beginning, or maybe I didn't read that word not. Okay, moving on. Exposure, then half-hearted mahjong. If a player claims a discard and makes an exposure, then they expose other tiles from their rack, thinking, oh, I got mahjong. They can return the tiles to the slope part of the rack if they have not declared mahjong. Otherwise, they can be disqualified. So if they said mahjong, that would be a mahjong in error. But if they just started to expose a few other tiles and they didn't say mahjong, they can pull it back. The league has said that they're really only hurting themselves, so it's fine. Interrupted pick goes back in its spot. When a player picks a tile from the wall and they have not racked it, that leaves the window of opportunity on the previous discard. So if somebody says wait and that tile hasn't been racked yet, they have to put it back. And you cannot just, because let's say they saw it, you can't swap it out with another tile because they saw the tile. It goes right back where it was. There's zen in the wall, zen in the game, and you don't want to mess with the zen. So put it right back where it was. Joker exchange when playing concealed. This comes up a lot with new players. If you're playing a concealed hand, that just means that you cannot claim a discard to make an exposure during the game and before you're ready to declare mahjong. So doing a joker exchange doesn't impact that part of the game. Your hand is still concealed, even if you do a joker exchange and that joker was exposed in another player's rack. That's okay. It's not your hand, it's theirs. And you're just doing the joker exchange. So if you're playing a concealed hand, feel free to do a joker exchange. Making an exposure, then exchanging a joker. This I see at least once a week in social media. You have to start your turn before you do a joker exchange. And when you start your turn, there's a completion process. So if you pick a tile from the wall to start your turn, you either, excuse me, need to rack that tile and then do a joker exchange, or pick a tile from the wall and then see, oh, I can do a joker exchange. You started your turn by picking from the wall, and then you can say, I would like to do a joker exchange with this tile that I just picked from the wall. Sorry. So those are about starting your turn. When you're making an exposure, so you're claiming a discard to start your turn, you have to complete the exposure before you do the joker exchange. So if someone discards a tile and I say, I would like that tile, and you put up, let's say, one tile and a joker, and then you take the discard and put it on there. You have 3 tiles, and then you do a request for a joker's exchange for something in your hand. That exposure that you just made is locked in now. It cannot be changed because you just completed that exposure. So then you can do a joker exchange and put the joker in your rack for later use in the game. You cannot complete the exposure, 3 tiles in this example, a pung, do the joker exchange, and then use that exchanged tile to make a Kong. You can't do that. Or even use that tile to make a Kong and then declare Mahjong. That doesn't work that way. That exposure that you just made cannot be changed. You do the joker exchange, you put the joker in your hand, and then you move on in the game, and then you use the joker somewhere else in your hand, but it can't be used in that current exposure. Okay, here we go. Penalty for using the wrong discard. This is another one that I see often. If a player claims a discard and they pick up the wrong tile and they rack it, that's going to be an invalid exposure. Like, for example, someone discards a 1-bam and they pick up a flower by mistake. Every player is responsible for the integrity of their rack, the integrity of the exposures, the integrity of the number of tiles they have, the combination of tiles that they gather. They're fully responsible for what is on their rack. So if there is a mistake, then they're going to be held accountable for it. Another example for this would be if a player discards a tile and they misname it, and some kind of an error occurs. Let's say a player exposes the tiles that they hear and not the tile that was actually discarded. They're going to have the wrong tiles on their rack, so they can be disqualified. So when you claim a discard, make sure it's the right one. Pick it up, make sure that it is the right one before you rack it and expose tiles from your hand. Because if you're not paying attention and you rack the wrong tile, you can be disqualified. Okay, discarded tile before a pick cannot be claimed. This is a common mistake when either there's a lot of socializing going on and people aren't paying attention. They might discard and then realize, oh shoot, I forgot to pick a tile from the wall. That tile that was discarded before the player started their turn correctly, it cannot be claimed. Someone asked, well, what happens if that discarded tile is a needed tile for another player who wants to declare Mahjong with that tile? The league did not speak to that when they answered this particular situation. So you get to decide what to do in that case. In a future publication, the league might fully address scenarios in this with this particular error. So a discarded tile can also happen with players who are used to playing in a 14 tile game where they start the game with 14 tiles, they discard and then pick. And if they're used to playing that way, they may forget to pick first and they'll discard, only giving them 12 tiles in their hand. So not only can that tile not be claimed, but also that player who had that error can be disqualified. Okay, next, simultaneous claim and pick rack. When a player picks a tile from the wall and they rack it at the exact same time as somebody says call, the player who claimed the discard just previous to the pick, they get that tile, and the player who picked has to put it back. They have to put that tile back in the wall. Usually this happens with quick pickers. people who tend to pick super quick. They don't spend a lot of time for the last discard. They'll pick super quick and not giving people enough time to decide whether they want the next discard. It's a really good practice to count to 3 in your head before you reach for a tile in the wall. Try not to be a quick picker. Give people time to decide what they want to do. Okay. 2 players declare Mahjong at the same time. When a player picks a tile from the wall and they declare Mahjong after seeing it, so they have not racked it, they are the winner, even if another player declares Mahjong on the previous discard, even if it's near or at the same time. It doesn't matter. The player who declared Mahjong stops the game. The game ends when somebody declares Mahjong. No ifs, ands, or buts. And that player who declared Mahjong, their win is honored. Mahjong in error with 1 intact hand. When 2 players declare Mahjong in error and another player throws in their hand, the last player to declare Mahjong in error is responsible for paying the winner or the player with the intact hand. And it's double the value of the Mahjong in error hand. I know this is kind of a mouthful, but the bottom line is when there are multiple errors at the table and there are 2 Mahjong in errors, the last Mahjong in error is the one who would be responsible for rewarding or compensating the player with the intact hand because they were the last one in and got out. The other 2 players were disqualified from the game prior, so they have no more involvement. Okay, next player, the next player after Mahjong in error. So when any error occur, yes, I have seen that happen. Basically, the last active the active players are responsible for the game, and the latest person outed is responsible for paying if one person has an intact hand in one sentence. Okay, so the next player after Mahjong in error, or really after any infraction, the game continues with the player on the right of that player. So when a player, let's say, declares Mahjong in error, they stop playing and the player to the right continues the game. This is not explicitly written anywhere, but it is intuited in the word continues. It goes from where the game is now, which is starting with the player who just made an error. It moves forward to the next player on their right. And the league confirmed that in a letter. The next player after a mispick. So when a player picks out of turn, they are disqualified and the game continues with the player to their right, the right of the player who mispicked, whether it was from the back of the wall, whether it was from the wrong wall, what have you. It doesn't matter. They are disqualified and then the player to their right continues the game. Arranging a declared Mahjong. When a player declares Mahjong, they expose all their tiles and then the hand is validated. To help other players at the table validate the hand should be in the order as it is on the card. And that's just good sportsmanship. There's no strategy in not arranging a declared Mahjong. The strategy is over when they declare Mahjong. Now it's about validation and payout. So arrange the tiles in the order on the card and then allow the other players to make sure it is correct and then get your reward. During the game, you can have your exposures in any order you want. But at the end of the game, when you declare Mahjong, your winning hand needs to be in order based on the order on the card. Playing with a pie. This is not in the rule book, although the league has mentioned it in bulletins that they don't believe in putting a limit to losses. Basically, anyone who wins should be rewarded. So some groups play with a pie. They set a limit that you can lose so that, based on the desire of the group, if somebody loses their pie, they continue to play until they win more and then have more money to pay. And there are other house rules that go along with this, like playing with a kitty. And I've done another episode like this where we talk about house rules, but we're not going to go into house rules right now. Although playing with pie is a house rule, which is probably not why it's not in Mahjong Made Easy. This is about fifth player betting. Better forgot to bet. If you're playing with 5 players and this better forgot to look at everybody's hand before East discards, then they just don't bet for that one, but they have to pay the winner just like everybody else. So these are the omissions that did not make it into the current publish that were in the last publish that are still active rules. First, the preliminary. During play, after East wall is depleted, the player to the left pushes out their wall. Picking from the wall goes to the left. Push left, play right. That used to be in the old version, but they omitted it for some reason. Another one is all tiles must be turned face down and mixed thoroughly before the game starts. Mix those tiles up just to make sure that there's a brand new refreshed wall for the game. No peeking ahead. Players are not permitted to pick the 14th tile from the wall until the player to the left discards their tile. If somebody does that, they're picking out a turn and they can be disqualified. Using jokers. Regardless of what the discarded joker is named, it may not be claimed for any reason whatsoever. Jokers cannot be claimed. Jokers and exposures are eligible for exchange. If a player has exposures that indicate they are building a concealed hand, any jokers would be available for exchange if the player has not been disqualified. So let's say I'm playing a concealed hand. I haven't said it, but I'm playing a concealed hand. And let's say I have a, let's say I'm playing News Concealed under Winds and Dragons, and I have a pung of 3s. And then there's a joker there. And then I expose a pung of norths. Clearly, that's the only hand I can be playing and I should be disqualified. So let's say I'm playing that hand and I just have that one exposure there. Until my hand is disqualified, that joker is available for exchange. But once it's determined that I'm playing a concealed hand, then the joker is no longer exchangeable. Any joker in an invalid exposure cannot be exchanged. Disqualification. If a player picks out of turn and their discard results in another player declaring Mahjong, the game stops and the discarder pays 4 times the value of the hand. If the discard is claimed for an exposure, the player who claimed the discard keeps the tile. The discarder is disqualified and the game continues. Okay, next. This is the same kind of a similar situation with a disqualification. If a player declares Mahjong an error and they expose part or all of their hand and the other player's hands are intact, the game continues, but the player who just declared Mahjong an error is disqualified and all the tiles are returned to their rack. If they were playing fully concealed, if they had an exposure with a joker, that particular exposure, if it's valid, stays on top. But the rest of the tiles go back in, including the tile that was their winning tile. If a player makes an incorrect exposure, they should be disqualified by another player. If the exposure goes unnoticed, the erring player should not say anything and just continue to play defensively. If you know that your hand is not viable for whatever reason, whether you have too many tiles, not enough tiles, an invalid exposure, you cannot disqualify yourself. That is the responsibility for the other players. So you play as if nothing unusual has happened. You play in hopes of ending the game in a draw. You cannot disqualify yourself. When playing with a bettor, the bettor cannot involve themselves in the game in any way. And if they do, they lose their bet. So, for example, let's say the bettor notices somebody picked out of turn and they call it out, they lose their bet. Or let's say a player is showing the bettor what hand they're playing, and the bettor looks at their hand and observes their instructions, they lose their bet because they've involved themselves in the game. So if you're playing with 5 players and you're betting, don't get involved. You're welcome to sit and observe and talk socialize, but don't get involved in the actual game. Otherwise, you can lose your bet. Okay, so that's it. All of this is in the wiki at MAHJLIFE, and it is a free and on-demand service to the community. So you can just go to my website. You don't need a login. Just go to my website, click on wiki, and then you can enter keywords and find rulings and strategy, etiquette, teaching, what have you, in articles. So let me just quickly show you. Here's my website right here. Here's the wiki right here. 4th one in, click wiki, and it'll take you to the wiki. There's also a glossary. I'll just show you that in a minute. Here is the search feature. Just enter keywords. Let's say rules not in. And there's the penalty-free rules right there. Anything using those keywords will show up in the results. And here's rules not in Mahjong Made Easy. All those rulings that I just brought up with a link to the article with the official ruling from the league. At the bottom are omissions that still apply that I went over as well. So feel free to use the wiki anytime you need it. As long as you have an internet connection, you can query this database. And there's a lot in there. Here's the glossary. And just click on any one of these letters to find the word you're looking for. Or you can just type in a keyword and it'll take you to that word. Okay, that's going to do it. Does anybody have any questions about any of these rulings that I brought up? If you are not comfortable asking questions in chat, feel free to send me an email. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. I'm going to go ahead and open I Love Mahj, and then we'll go ahead and play some Mahjong. I Love Mahj. Let me share my screen here. Here we go. I Love Mahj. They have a great exercise room. If you're new to the game or if you want to build your skills, feel free to play in here. They have what I call category modeling, where you can make every hand on the card. That's make a hand. They have Charleston practice, where you can focus on decision making during the Charleston. And they have 3 other gamification opportunities that can help you learn how to read the card, how to read hands, and how to improve your skills. So feel free to check those out on your own. I'm going to go ahead and play with bots, and we're going to play with intermediate robots. Here we go. First game. If you want to try out I Love Mahj, you can use MAHJLIFE to get an extra week for free. I need to step away for a super quick second. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. I am back. We're going to play Mahj at I Love Mahj. Sort by suit. Okay, what do we got? We have a joker, flower, north, pair, green dragon, red dragon, 4, 5 in bams, 2, 5, 6, 8, 9 in cracks. We have a pair of 5 cracks and a pair of dragons. So I would probably keep the dragons and the 5s for sure, and maybe think about playing something with consecutive tiles in that green dragon, second hand down under consecutive run, for example, or maybe like numbers with 5s and dragons if we can get a 5 dot. So let's just stop there for now and see what we can get in these first round of passes. There's another dragon. You know what? Maybe we can play a quint. There's a 6 though. The 7 can go. We need to make a choice right now. So we have 5 bam, 5 crack, 6 crack pair, and an 8. No 7. We need a 7 crack in here for that dragon hand. Second one down. I think what I would do here is let the red dragon go. And I would consider playing that quint. Let's just see what happens. Look, we got a 5 bam. Okay, we have tiles we can pass, but we don't have a 5 dots. And I let that red dragon go, so I would break up that 5 bam and pass fully. I would not play like numbers with 5s without another dragon or without the 5 dot. We got the dragon back. Oh, look, there's the 7. Now we don't have a gap for 5, 6, 7, 8 dragon. Second hand down. And we can keep. Let's pass red 5, 9. That's a little bit risky, but we have only 4 discards for that second hand down under consecutive run. This is looking really good. This right here is a little bit risky, but I think we can take on that risk because our hand is well developed. Now here though, I would not pass like numbers with 6s. I would only pass 2. I think passing like numbers is almost as risky as passing a pair. But now we have 3 tiles we can pass. Okay. Oh, look, we got a keeper. So we have 3 discards and we're the dealer, so we have an extra tile. Let's discard this flower. We are, let's see here. We're set. We have a pair of 5s, which we need there. Second hand down. We could pung the 6 crack, pung the 7 crack, and then we'll be ready to win on the 8 crack. So we have only 2 discards. That was a really good result. I'd say we're a front runner on this one. Oh, look, 3 bam. We have joker bait. Let's see if we can get a joker out of that. I'd say it's our only discard, so probably not, because we're in the begin game. But we might be able to do something with it.
9 crack. 1 back.
Okay, we don't need east. No, we don't need that. No. We're looking for an 8 crack. That would be ideal because that's a pair for us. We want an 8 crack. Okay, so we're at 80 tiles remaining. You see this label right here? 80 tiles remaining. We just entered the middle game. We're good there. Oh, well, that's an interesting tile. because now we can do 4, 5, 6, 7. We have an option. Let's let this 3 bam go now. So 3 bam, and it's 77 tiles remaining. Okay, let's just see what happens. Nope, it didn't work. Okay. All right, we're good there.
8 dots.
6 bam. That could be a good discard. We don't need that. Nope. 1 bam. It's already out there. Nope. Okay. We're good. 4 bam. We don't need that. The 3 can go too. Okay, we don't need that. Nope. 9 dot we don't need. It's already out. Okay. We don't need soap. Okay. I would love to draw one of these cracks in here. 7 bam can go. Okay, there's a couple jokers open for exchange. They got one of these. Oh, Agata, this joker, the robot on the left just got it. Oh, 6 bam. We're gonna let that go. Okay, let's see. We need to keep. Oh my goodness, they got a keeper. Actually, Joe Curtis. Okay, like numbers with 7s and dragons. This was looking really good for us. We had only 2 discards. Okay, let's play again. All right, now we have multiples that don't go together. 4 crack, 9 dot. Maybe we can force a quint. 4 crack, 9 dot. If that ever happens to you, consider playing a quint. And we actually have an east. We could do 4 crack, 9 dot east, second hand down. I would look for an option though. For example, we could maybe do 1, 2, 3, 4. We have no 3 crack, but we might get it. We could maybe do 2, 4, 6, 8. We have no 8 crack, but it could come in. Here's an 8 bam. We do have all 3 9s. I think no matter how we arrange this, the dragon and the 3 dot can go, and then let's just let one of the 9s go or the 1 crack. Let's let the 1 crack go because we might be able to do something with the 9s. Okay, so now we have a 6, a 3, and an 8. Here's a 9. We have a lot of 3, 6, 9 in here. Without jokers, isn't the quint risky? Yes. Yep, there's risk though in every hand that you play. It's just something that you could consider. You don't have to play a quint, but it's something you could consider when you have misfit multiples. So now we have a lot more to work with. So I probably wouldn't play the quint, but we certainly could. It is a hand with no gaps, but we do have options in here for other hands that have more potential. 3, 6, 9, for example, or maybe even like numbers with 9s. I think I would let the 2 go with the 8 dot, and then I think I would probably 3, 6, 9 and dots. I think I would let the east go. Evens line 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm thinking that we have, I mean, yes, we could play 2, 4, 6, 8, but we have a lot more tiles for 3, 6, 9. So if we played 2, 4 crack, 6, 8 dot right here, we would have 5 tiles to work with. But if we play 3, 6, 9, of some kind, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiles. So there are 2 more tiles to use with 369 than 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's why I would let that go. But what we could do is let the 8 bam go. Still, I would let the 2 crack go regardless. And I would focus on 369 because we have way more tiles to work with. So there's a 3. And I would break up the 4 at this point, probably. The 5 can go, the 4 can go in the dragon. So it looks like a 369 hand. We have 2 discards and 8 tiles towards 369. So we gather for what we have the most of, which is 369. And we don't need to pick a hand. We're just going to keep gathering. Because right now, no, there's nothing quite gelling for a hand we could play yet, but it will happen. Sometimes you got to just be patient and gather and just wait until a hand reveals itself. Okay, so we have plenty of tiles for us to pass here. North, let's say green with an 8.
8 tiles.
Okay, so we have 4 discards and the rest of the tiles can be used in 369. I wouldn't pick a hand. If we get a flower, we could maybe try for the second hand down, but that's a pair gap. So I would just continue to gather. See if another 369 hand comes in.
No.
And I wouldn't call anything until you know what hand you're playing and you have no gaps. Right now, we have a gap. If we were to claim that 9 dot, we would play maybe the second hand down, or we could maybe play even the third hand down. We wouldn't be able to call it for the third hand down because we'd need a Kong. So because we have no flower, we're going to just let it go. Here's a 6. So now we can maybe let this, let's let these year tiles go. We now have a hand with no gaps. The first hand, 3, 6, bam, 6, 9 dot. Pung, pung, kong, kong. Pung, pung, kong, kong. First hand. And we're not able to call anything yet. We're just going to continue to gather. Okay, let's let that 8 go. Nope, we're good. Can't call it at the moment. Let's let the 1 bam go. Oh, I like to let the year tiles go first. I like to try to thwart the big ear hand. I don't want to ever have to pay for that. Okay, so it looks like winds are coming in a little bit, and we do have all the 6s. We do have all the 9s, but with just 1 east and 1 south, these winds are not helpful at all. So try not to be distracted by winds. We have options. So we're just going to keep gathering. Now there's a little bit of a change in here. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. We're getting a lot more 5, 6, 7 just as this hand is transforming. So we should just think about maybe switching to 5, 6, 7 of some kind. Here, I would not claim that because we don't even know what hand we're playing yet. We don't need an 8 crack. Okay, Joker. I would let the 5s go and probably still focus on 3, 6, 9. It would be really nice to get a flower. Oh, here's a 6 crack. 6 crack. I still wouldn't pick a hand. We're just going to keep gathering. We could maybe even play the concealed hand here. Oh, look, let's see, 59 tiles remaining, and we have a 7 bam pair that we don't need. Let's see if maybe we can get a joker out of this. No, it didn't work. Shoot. Okay, we need keepers. Here's the 3. Okay, let's let the 7 go. Now we have all 3, 6, 9 in here. I think what I would probably do is play 3, 6 crack, 3, 6 bam, 9 dot pair concealed. We have our pair. All we need are jokers for the rest. So let's just wait and see. Let's see if there's something else we could do. We could do 3, 6, 9, pung, pung, kong, kong, but we would need 2 jokers for the 6 dot and the 9 dot. Let's see. Yeah, both are out. So here we could maybe play the first hand, but we would use our only joker and we would still need 2 more. I think we're better off going for the concealed hand or playing defensive and just fold. So I would let this go. We'll let that go. So I'm going to prep this for the concealed hand. So the 6 dot is out. So that is not going to be good joker bait for us. So there's the concealed hand. 3, 6 bam, 3, 6 crack, 9 dot pair. All we need to do is build on these 3, 6 tiles here, bams, cracks, and we have 3 discards and then this pair we don't need. So we're an underdog on this one. Let's just see what happens. We're still in the middle game. There's a keeper. Let's see. Let's discard the 9 bam. I was just thinking that if we draw a flower, we could still switch to the second hand down. But right now, we have a pair gap, no flower. That is super risky to play that with a pair gap. 3 crack, that's a keeper. So now we're down to that second hand down with a pair gap, no flowers, or the concealed hand, which has 1, 2, 3, 4 multiples in it, which is good. I think we should continue with the concealed hand. Yeah, nobody wants the 6 dot. Ooh, a flower. Now we can switch. We would have 3 discards if we switch, which is 1 less than the concealed hand. So basically 3, 6, 9, single pair pung. We would have to use that joker with the 9 dot, but that's okay because we could pung the 6 crack and the 6 bam. The 3 crack is out, I believe. 3 crack. Where is it? I thought I saw a 3 crack out here. We might be able to use it for there it is right there. So it seems nobody wanted the 3 crack. So there's our hand. We could pung the 6 bam, 6 crack as well. Here's a 6 bam there. I don't see any 6 cracks out. So let's see if we can switch here to the second hand down. There was 1 less discard. There's the flower. Okay, see you later, Misty. Let's pung. Okay, we are ready to win on a 6 crack. And we were an underdog until about 2 picks ago. There's still one more 6 crack, I believe. Actually, I don't think any are out, are they? I don't see any 6 cracks. There it is. Mahjong. We won. We got it. I'm really surprised. We came up from behind big time on that. Okay, let's play again. All right, now we have a pair of Wests and a pair of threes. Train your eye to look for multiples, target multiples. American Mah Jongg is a game of multiples. Every hand on the card requires a multiple. That's the design of the game. We might be able to do something with threes and fours. I think I would stop there and focus on 3-4 of some kind. So let's pass. We have 3-4. Here's a 6 and a corresponding dragon. 3-4, 5-6. There's a gap, no 5, but that's okay. Let's let the 1 go, and then let's let the 4 bam go with a 7. We'll let this 4 dot go here. Okay, now what do we have? Oh, look, 3-6-9 is coming in again. We have way more tiles for 3-6-9 than anything else. So let's pass. Let's see here. A wind, a dragon, and a 4 dot. Okay, now we got that wind back, but that's okay. So we have 3-6-9 again. Oh, look, news. Look at the news we have here. I would keep going. So the 1 can go. Now we need to pick a hand because we have all keepers. We could play. We have a 3 crack pair and then wins. Pair West. I think what I would do here is let a 9 and a 6 go. Maybe more wins will come in. Let's do 6.9 bam. All right, now let's see. We have a 5 and an 8. Let's see. Let's let the 8 go with a red and this 9. I'm wondering if we could do east and west with Kongs. It'd be nice if we can get a 4 back. Here's a 5 dot. 6-7, 5-6-7 wins. All right, so now let's look at what we have. We have a 3 crack pair and a 5 dot pair. Those do not go together unless we play a quint, which we could, but it's not ideal because we don't have jokers, but we could potentially play a quint. I think what I would do is focus on 5-6, 5.6 crack east and west. Third hand down on the right, there's no gaps for that. So I think what I would do is probably pass 6-7 and just leave it there because we still could maybe play a quint. Or if we get a 4, we could have an option for east and west with offsuit Kongs, third hand down on the right. Okay, so no keepers. Let's ask for, we could even play 5s with news and let the west go. Let's ask for 2. Look, we got another 3. So we could play either 3s or 5s concealed and let the wind go, the west. I'd say we're an underdog until we pick a hand. So we just need to play conservatively as we gather. I don't want to hold dragons. There's a joker. Okay, so we have 3s or 5s and wins. We might even be able to play a quint. The 3 bam is going down hard. Let's let the 3 bam go. Now here is a 5 dot pung. We could play that quint. We could quint the 5 dot right now. We don't need that. Let's see if we can get another west before we commit to a quint. I think I'd like to see another multiple build in here before committing to a quint. But we could play it second hand down. All right, here we have to make a choice. We could do east and west with 5s and 6 crack and Kong, or we can push this quint. There's only one wind out. We might have opportunities for joker exchange with these wins if someone else is playing wins. I think we should go for it. We could quint or we could Kong. What do you think we should do? If this were your hand, would you wait and play news concealed with 5s? That's another option. It would be the most conservative option. If we Kong, we could pung the west and even pung the east, and we would need to build on the 6. That would also be a conservative approach, and we can expedite hand development by calling. So I think probably the third hand down, east and west with 5, 6 crack. So let's go ahead and call. We're going to Kong, and then we'll focus on the 6 crack and let the north-south go. We're going to be able to pung east and west. We just need help there with the 6 crack. The 3 crack can be joker bait. So let's see if we can get the 3 crack to 60 tiles. Between 60 and 50 tiles remaining. Nancy says quints scare you. They can be a little, oh, Nancy says good choice. Thank you. Oh, look, we've got a joker. So quints can put you on the edge of your seat for sure. This is a little more conservative approach. North.
1, 2
So we're coming up to 60 tiles now. Let's go a little bit longer.
7 call 2
There's a joker
Call.
open for exchange.
call 7
Another joker.
9
9 dot can go. We're playing the third hand down on the right under wins. Okay, we're at 50 tiles remaining. We're going to let the 3 crack go now. So on our next turn, we're going to let the 3 crack go and see if, oh shoot, they got a win out of that one. All right, well done. We got pretty close. This 3 crack would not have given us anything. This player to our left, though, I think they would have wanted it, but they couldn't call. All right, here we go. We're going to play again. So now we have a wide spread. We have a flower, green, red, 1 5 band, 1 3 7 in cracks, 2 5 6 in dots. When I have a wide spread like this, you might say, oh, I have nothing, but that's not true. We could do, well, when I look at these tiles, I look for like numbers and I say them in my head as I go. So we have a couple of dragons. Those are not like numbers, but it's something to note. We've got 2 1s and we have 2 5s. So I would consider little odds because 1s and 5s would use 1 3 5, little odds. So I would play a little odd hand or see about playing little odds, 1 3 5. So those would be what I would hold. And I would probably hold the dragons because there is the 2 hands that use dragons in odds. And that gives us 3 tiles to pass. Okay, so we got a 1 crack pair now, and there's a red dragon. The north can go. So now technically we have all keepers. So we need to make some choices. We have a 1 crack pair and a red dragon pair. We might be able to play that third hand down. We do have a gap, no 5 crack, but we could use jokers for the 5 crack. Even though that is a gap and it's not ideal, we could still play that hand. So let's just see. We could discard the green and this 5 dot and see what happens. Let's see if we can get a 5 crack in here. No, but we got a 3. We need a 5 crack. We've got tiles we can pass. Now, here's something else that we have. We've got 3 1s. So 1 bam, 1 dot, 1 crack pair. We could play like numbers, but it is super weak. I would rather leverage the multiples, even though it's a gap hand right now. So I would let that 1 dot go. Oh, there's another multiple now. Here's 2 tiles to pass. I would let it go. So that's an interesting tile. You know what we could do now? If we can get a 2 crack, we could play the 5th hand down under consecutive run. Let's let the dragon or the, ooh, that's, yikes. That's super risky. I don't think I would do that. We're not going to pass 1-5 dragon. That's really risky. Okay, now we can pass 3. All right, let's see what we can get here. Okay, 3 discards, and we have a couple of options. We can play the 5th hand down under consecutive run if we get a 2 crack, or we could play the 3rd hand down under odds, 1, 3, 5. So let's just play it out and see what happens. Oh, I year tiles. If we're not using year tiles, they go first. Looks like nobody's playing a year hand though, because 2 are out. Here's a 3 crack. That is a keeper. I would love to get a 5 crack. Okay, now here we should make a choice. I think because we have a flower, we have our pair of 1 cracks, we have a pung of 3 cracks. I think we should go ahead and call this for that pung, 3rd hand down. Because even if we get another joker, we could Kong the 5. It's not ideal. Oh, that's our tile. That's okay. It's one of the beauties of American Mah Jongg is you have jokers. We have our pair, and that's the most important thing right now. So let's just see how this goes. We need a 5 crack or another joker. There's a joker open for exchange. Okay, now these are year tiles. All right. They got a Wes. Wes got a joker. All right, we're going to ignore. Look at all these 8s. Nobody wants the 8s. That's a pair for us. These discards nobody wants. Let's see, 7 crack. I see that out there too. Joker. So now if a 5 crack goes down, we can Kong, and then we'll be ready to win on a flower. So even if you have a gap hand, it's not ideal, but you can make it work if you if you happen to have jokers or get the opportunity to do exchanges. In this case, we drew them. Uh-oh. This player to our right is playing like numbers with sixes, I'm pretty sure. That 6 bam could be their pair. Uh-oh. Okay, we're in the end game. I think it'd be really nice to draw a flower here. Well, it's Kong. A little bit risky, but now we're ready to win. Ready to win on a flower. So there's one joker open now. We don't need it, of course. We need a flower. Um, it really doesn't matter because we're not going to have a pure hand, but discarding a joker, nobody can call it. We get 2 more picks. Okay, 1 more pick. Aw. All right. All right. So we got ready to win, and it was looking pretty bleak for a while. We had a gap, but we filled it in with jokers. All right, let's play again. So now let's see. We have a pung of flowers, pair east and a west, green dragon, 3 6 in bams, 1 crack pair, 3 7 8 in dots. It just seems like we are given opportunities for quints today. Let's just keep the 1 and the dragon and see if maybe something comes in to use this east, west. I don't know though. Let's just see. So let's pass 6 8 with a 3, 1 of each suit. All right, now we have 7 dot, 9 crack with a 4 bam, 1 of each suit. Okay, so we can do 8 bam, let's say 3 bam with a 5 crack. Now there's a 1 2. We have a pung of flowers. I would just continue to gather. I wouldn't pick a hand. We'll pass 4 9 bam with a 6 crack. Okay, there's another east, and here's a 3. I think I would probably let that dragon go there. We have a pung of flowers, though, and a pung of east. Oh my goodness, this is kind of strange. Pung of east, a west, and 1 2 3. We could play the 5th hand down on the right, but it is weak because we have no west. We have 1 west where we need a Kong, and we need 3 consecutive pairs, and we have 1. We also have a pung of flowers. I think I would rather use the flowers with something. For example, we could do a pair of flowers with 1 2 3 Kongs, 3rd hand down under consecutive run. If the quint doesn't come in, the quint would maybe be the 1st hand under quints or the dragon hand, 4th one down. But of course, we need jokers, and we don't have any. Because of the pung of flowers and the pair of 1s, I would probably let the winds go, the west. And we have tiles we can pass. 5, 7, a little bit risky, but so is passing. We could maybe do that hand, but we have no 4s. Since we have no 4s, I wouldn't consider that hand, the quint chow hand. I would pass 3 though, and let the east go. Okay, so we have almost news there, but we have 1, 2, 3. All right, let's let the winds go. So, and we don't want to do anything there. I would focus on 1, 2, 3, maybe flowers, third hand down under consecutive run. Or maybe the first quint, if we can get jokers, we'll see. Here's the 2 crack, and we can't do anything there. But probably this dragon can go. Nobody wanted the 5 dot. Okay, so dragons here. Dragons. Okay, here we go. 5 crack. Well, that's a bit interesting, I suppose. Not much though, with a pung of flowers. Let's continue to let the winds go. I think the 5 crack needs to go. 1, 2, 3 of some kind. Here's a 2 bam. 1, 2. Let's just let the 8 go. Four dot. There are 2 4 dots out and a 4 bam. I'm thinking the dragons should go. 5 crack is going down. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4s are going down. There's a 4 dot though. So if we played the chow hand, the quint chow hand, we have a gap, no 4 bam, and 2 are out. So, and we would need a joker for the 4 dot. So I don't think that's going to work. We've got lots of tiles that don't go together. You know what, though? We have 2 bam, 3 crack, 4 dot. We would need 2 jokers for the 4 dot and a joker for the 2 bam. I think we should just stay where we are. No matter what we play, we're going to need jokers. We might just play conservatively for this hand. Live to fight another day. Okay, we're in the last pick for this middle game. 3 dot. Let's let the 5 bam go. Okay. So we have a Kong with 2 jokers from this robot here. These 2 pair here, the 2 bam and the 4 dot, those are not joker bait because the tiles are already out. Nobody wanted them. Since we have a pung of flowers, we don't need a dragon. We can't call that. I can't call it. I'm thinking we're going to probably just play defense. But what I would do is go ahead and hold 2, 4. Either way, we're going to need jokers. you're likely going to fold. Yeah, our tiles are all going down.
3 dots. 9 down. 2 down.
Yep.
1
More. All of them. Oh my gosh. Oh, for goodness sake.
South.
Look at that.
7 back.
We,
North.
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, fine. Let's just set it up, I guess, for looks, just for look and feel. We have no 4-band. This would be the 6th hand down under consecutive run. 1, 2, 3 with 4s. But we have no 4, and we would need jokers, and we have none. Okay, nobody wanted this. All right. It kind of turned out that way. Look, Karen. All right, let's see what we can do now. We have a 3-band pair with a 4-dot pair. 3, 4 consecutive. So I would hold 3, 4. 3, 4, 2 pair right there. So with a 3, 4 and the rest of these tiles, I think I would hold the 3 crack. Probably the 2, 2, 3, 4 of some, oops, wrong tile. 2, 3, 4 of some kind, maybe a year hand. And I would just stop there. We got to have tiles to pass. Okay, here's a 4-band. 1, 9 with a 6. That can go. We're looking at 2, 3, 4 of some kind, or maybe a year hand. Here's a 2-dot now. We have 2 tiles to pass. So now we have to pick a hand now, or whittle down. So we have 2-dot, 3-band, 2, 4-dot, pair, 3-band. Let's see, probably I would go for a year hand of some kind, but we really need a different 2, like a 2-band or a 2 crack. I think what I would do here is let the 3 crack go and just see what comes in. No keepers. Let's pass 7, 9, and then we have 2, 4, 2-dot, 4-dot. Let's let the 3-band go. Okay, there's a 5-dot. Maybe we can do 2, 3, 4, 5 dragon. 2, 4. Let's pass 1, 3, 8 and see what comes in here. No keepers. Although here now we have 2, 4, 6, 8. That looks way better than a year hand. 2, 4, 6, 8. Patience is a virtue. We can pass 3. Oh, there we go. There's another option in there. 2, 3, 4 of some kind, or 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, let's see how this goes. So we're not going to pick a hand. We're going to gather, but we could maybe play the first even hand, maybe the 3rd hand down under evens, or we could do 2, 3, 4, 1 suit Kongs, 3rd hand down on the left under consecutive run. 9-dot. No, probably not. It corresponds, but we're focused on probably evens. Oh, there's joker bait, 7 crack. We don't need that. Okay, so they're playing a big odd hand probably, or 6, 7, 8, 9 there. Okay, here we go. Joker. I think I would probably let that go. We could maybe play the second hand from the bottom under evens. 2, 4, 6, 8, pair 4, 6, Kong 2, 8. Okay, now we have to make some choices here. Either way, we could Kong that and play the first hand, or we could Pung and play the dragon hand. We have our 2 pair, 2, 4 dot. Or we could even Kong and play the first hand or that second hand from the bottom. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and Pung and play either, let's see, either the dragon hand or the flower hand, second from the bottom. Let's Pung. That way we're only going to use one joker. Okay, nobody wanted the 7 crack. Oh, 3. Okay. I don't know where that joker came and went from somewhere. Oh, from this 9 dot, I guess. Oh, we have a Mahjong. I thought they were doing 6, 7, 8, 9, but big odds they could have been doing that as well. Pung, pung, kong, kong. And they had a 7, bam, 9 dot. It's still pretty early in the game, I think. I don't remember what the number was. I wish they would leave that up so we could see how much in the game was left. Anyhow, we got fairly close. We have 2 discards and then options. So I think we did okay. We held our own. All right, now what do we have to work with? Wow, look at the multiples in here. We have a 5 dot pair, 8 bam, 7, 9, and cracks. I'm thinking big odds would use most of these, even though there's a gap, another gap hand. Let's see, let's just hold the 8. So some kind of a 5 through 9 hand, or maybe big odds. Here's a 5, 7, 9 dragon. Okay, let's break up the 8 and the 5 dot, because now we have a hand with no gaps. It's always best to play a hand where you have no gaps. Third hand down on the right, no gaps. Oh, and here's a 6. Now we can maybe play the dragon hand under consecutive run. That would be the 5th hand down under consecutive run. Oh, there's another dragon. So let's keep going. No keepers. So this is getting a little bit risky though. We have 5, 7, 9 dragon. I think I would focus there, even though the 5 crack is a weakness. We are set on this hand because we could Pung the dragon, Pung the 7, Kong the 9. Oh no, we're not quite set. We do have weakness. We need the 5 crack and we need a flower. Here's 5, 6, 7, or 5, 7, 9. Let's risk passing that too. It's a little bit risky there. And even here, this is a bit risky too. Even if we get one more good pick, I would pass just 2 here though. All right, we have 3 discards and an option. Probably that 6 will go and we'll play 5, 7, 9 dragon. So it would look like that. 5, 7, 9 dragon. Third hand down on the right. Okay, we got a 3 crack. Might as well tuck those in. Let's just see what happens. We have 3, 6, 9 in there. We need a pair. Pair flower, pair 5 crack. Okay, so there's an 8 crack. We have 5 through 9. We could do 6 through 9 and with dragons, maybe. I think this 3 crack can go. Let's let the 4 dot go first. Oh, here we need to make a choice. Let's see here. If we play 6, 7, 8, 9 dragon, we could pung that and leave the dragon Kong with the joker for the 5th hand down under consecutive run, or we could Kong it for the 3rd hand down on the right under odds. But the thing about that is we need 2 pair and we have 2 singles. That would be major weakness. So I think what I would do is play the 5th hand down under consecutive run and pung. And then let the flower go here. With a pung of 9s, we do not need a 5 crack now. So 6, 7, 8, 9 dragon, 5th hand down under consecutive run. We could use the joker for the 8 or the red. Might as well. That is a pair for us, so we have to let it go. Flower. Wow. 3 in a row. That's weird. Okay, there's a couple jokers open. I would love to draw a keeper here. Yay, we got one. That's our pair tile. We need one more good pick and we'll be set. So we can use jokers now because we have our pairs. 6, 7 pair, pung pung 8, 9, Kong dragon. Oh, joker bait just showed up. Okay, let's see if we can make that work. 6 dot, we're at 56 tiles right now. This is the ideal time for a joker bait. Let's see if it works. No, it did not. Shoot. Darn. It didn't work. Oh, like numbers with 2s. Now they could be doing a year hand. There are no white dragons out. We gotta let it go now. Oh my gosh, that was a bit terrifying right there. That was a super card. Okay, let's call Kong. Man, these joker swaps happen so fast. I wish they would slow them down. It's a little bit disorienting, I guess. It makes me uncomfortable because it happens so fast. I don't know who got it. I know they have a note up very quickly, but I don't know what's going on. Who got that joker? I have no clue. There, it happened again. Okay, Joe Curtis got it this time. Oh my goodness. I wish there was like a trail, like you can see the joker like float over to the hand or something. Oh, look, 2, 4. Yep, they're playing a year hand. So they need white dragons and they're going to need jokers here because the white dragons are over here on the left. 6 bam. Those are out. 6 dot is out too. Joker. We're ready to win on an 8 crack. Oh, goodness. Aw. Oh, my goodness. Come on now. 9 bam. Oh, darn. 5 7.79 bam. I threw that tile, but that's okay. We're ready to win, so I like to play to win. Here's this player on our left had our 8 crack, but there's one in the wall. Oh, here it is right here. The player across from us had it. They're playing a gap hand. They don't have any white dragons. Okay, let's see what we can do now. All right, here we have a pair of 7 bams. Train your eye to target the multiple. 7 bam pair. So with a 7 bam pair, the rest of what we have here, we've got 2 4s. We have 4, 5, 6, 7 of some kind. I would probably focus on 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive run and just stop there and see what we can do now. A 6 came in. Here's a 4 bam. We have a 2.7 bam pair. That's the key right there. 7 bam. Okay, so we have east, red, 3 dot. So we have 4, 5 crack, 4, 6, 7, 7 bam pair, 3, 4, 6, 7. So with a 7 bam pair being the key to this hand, this is the strength of the hand. I think I would let the dragon go. Probably the 3 dot, I would let that go, and probably even the 4 bam. We do have a hand in here with no gaps, 4, 5 crack, 6, 7 dot, but we might also be able to play like numbers with 7s and news. 4 dot came in. Let's keep going. 1 dot can go. Here's, oh, look what showed up, Karen. 4, 5, 6 with 7s. 4, 5, 6 chow with 7s. It's pretty weak. Let's pass east with a 6. Although we do have, let's see here, 5 crack, 6.7 bam, mixoop pungs, third hand down on the right. Let's let the 4 dot go. All right, now we have a 9, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. Let's let the 4 go with a 9 and the 2. 3, 4 bam. Not helpful, really. There's a little potential in here for addition, but it's super weak. Okay, now we have half of news. I think what I would do, 4, 5, 6 in cracks with 7s, 4, 5 cracks, 6, 7 bam. I think I would pass fully, give up the 6 dot. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. We have here 6, 7, 6, 7. Oh, no, that's the wrong 8. Never mind. I was thinking we can do the concealed hand, but we need an 8 crack, not an 8 bam.
Flower.
Okay, 7 dot pair. All right. So I would say here we have 3 discards, 2, 4, 6. We have 4, 5, 6 crack chow, like numbers with 7s, and a flower. We could do news with 7s or the chow hand. 6 hand down under, no, that's the, yeah, that is a 6 hand down, consecutive run.
Red. Call. So.
Wow, that was a quick, oh, we don't, oh, oh my gosh, these robots.
6 dot.
How,
9 dot.
that is just really, oh.
West.
All right, we're moving on.
7 dot.
Okay, here we need to make a choice. We could pung. We do have a hand with no gaps, and we really just need jokers. Let's go ahead and do it.
Call.
Let's push against these robots. So we're going to let the winds go. So like, okay, Wes got a joker. Got to be on your, oh my gosh, on the tip of your toes here to figure out what these robots are doing. There's a keeper. Okay, so now we need flowers. Flowers and jokers. 2 are open for exchange. We have a pung of 7s, and here's a 7. We could switch to like numbers with 7s if we want. We need flowers. Oh my goodness, look what came in. A 7 crack. We could switch to like numbers with 7s. There's a flower. Maybe the 7 crack can be joker bait. Nobody would want the 7 crack, not with these exposures. I think we're closer to like numbers with 7s. Oh my goodness, they got Mahjong. Okay, who's up for a speed round? We have 12 minutes to get through a game. They have pung pung kong kong there. We threw it. I don't even remember what they had exposed. I wish they could indicate which of these were exposed. Anyway, that's fine. All right, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and do a speed round. We have a no, we don't. We have a pair of Wests, widespread otherwise. Let's let the dragon go. We have 3, 6, 9, but we also have 2, 3, 4, 5. That's much more flexible. 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's a 5 band, 3 dot West. Okay, let's let the 9 go. We have a pung of West. Let's see. Let's focus on 3, 4, 5 of some kind. There's a 5 band, so there's a pair now. We have 1, 3, 5, no gaps, little odds. Lots of 1, 3, 5 here. Let's let the South go with a 9 and a 4. 5, 5. We have lots of 5s. 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 5, and 5. Okay, we're going to keep going. Let's let the dragon go. Now we need to make choices. We do have a lot of little odds in here, but we need more 3s, not 5s. Let's let the 4 go and then a West. All right, so now 6s came in. So we've got a lot of 5, 6, 7 in here. Let's let a wind go. Now we need to make a choice. Let's let the 7 and the 6 go. It looks like 1, 3, 5 of some kind. Here's a 3. So let's pass the West with a 6 and a 9. Okay. 1, 3, 3, 5 dragon. 1, 3 dot, 3, 5 bam, red dragon. Second hand from the bottom. That works. Okay, now we have 3, 5 crack, 3, 5 bam, 1, 3, 5 in dots. We could maybe play the concealed hand. 1, 3, 5 in dots with 3s. Let's just see what happens. Now we have 3, 5 crack, with 1-3 dot and the green dragon. We don't need a 4 dot. I wouldn't call anything. We don't know. Oh, here's a joker. Let's let the dragon go. I'm thinking we should try for the concealed hand. We do have a weakness with our 3 dot. We really don't need a 6 dot. We're looking for threes. 1, 5 and dots would be nice. Actually, a 1 bam or a 1 crack would be nice. Five bam. Let's let the dragon go. Let's see here. We could let the 5 dot go and still keep the dragon for that second hand down. We could also play 1, 3, 5 with threes and use the joker for the missing 1 bam. I was thinking we could also switch to like numbers with 5s and dragons, but there's pair green dragons out, which we threw 1, and there's a white dragon out. So I don't think I would do that. Since the 3 dot needs to be a pair for the concealed hand, let's leverage the joker for the missing 1 bam and say that 3 bam is the pair. And that way we don't have to be concerned about that weakness. So let's go ahead and discard the 5 dot. A red went down. I would just let that hand go and play the concealed hand. So that would mean the 1 dot can go and the 5 crack can go. And this one joker here is a 1 bam. The joker is a 1 bam for now. Three crack, that's a keeper. It would be kind of nice to get a 1 crack, but I think we should stay put. We're playing concealed. Now we're not playing a gap hand. So this is looking much better now. We have 2 pair. That came in. We're playing concealed. We don't need flowers. We have 3, 5, 3. We could switch to like numbers with threes. Let's let the 5 crack go. Oh, darn. We got Mahjong. I think we could probably squeeze in another hand. Okay, so like numbers with twos. We came pretty close. 2 discards from the concealed odd hand. 1, 3, 5 with threes. Let's do another speed round. Okay, we have a pair of Norse and a pair of twos. Let's try for a year hand against these formidable robots. Who knows? Maybe those will work. Let's pass 5, 7, 9. There's a 2 and an east. We have 2 discards. We have like numbers with twos, almost news. We could maybe try for a year hand, but it doesn't feel quite right at the moment. Let's let the red dragon go. We don't need that for sure. And we have an extra Nor. And now we have a Punga Norse. And a pair, 2 pair here. Let's see here. We do have 1, 2, 3 Mixu Kongs. 1 dot, 2 bam, 3 crack, but we'd have to throw away a pair of twos. I think I'd rather play something that would use both twos. For example, news concealed. News concealed with twos. Here's a 2, and we can keep going. Joe, the opponent across from us, stopped the Charleston. So we're not going to pass with that, dude. No, you cannot have any tiles. No, 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 no. No tiles for you. Okay, we can let 7 go. So we're looking at like numbers with 2s and news. Third hand down under like numbers, or maybe the news concealed hand with 2s. Wow, flowers. Now we have a pair of East. Let's see here. Let's go ahead. We could maybe use that, I suppose. We'll see. Let's let the 6 band go. That was a good choice. Oh, already out. Okay. Nope, don't need ties. Oh, 5 band pair. Let's see. No 5 bands are out yet. Maybe we can use that for joker bait. We have 2s, a dragon, no 4, northeast. Let's let the east go. Don't need a 3 dot. Okay, there we go. A little bit of something. Let's see here. Without west and south, this pung of Norse. Oh my gosh, look, we could maybe go for this quint. No, that's the wrong tile. This suit needs to be different than the 2 band. Let's just let's see here. Let's let the north go. We could still play news with 2s. Or we could maybe try for the first year hand. What? Oh my goodness. These robots. Yikes. No comment. All right. What do you guys think? We got in some good games. We had a couple wins, I think. I hope you had fun. Yes, thanks for coming. We'll be back again tomorrow for Obsessed tier members. And then Wednesday, members only. Thursday, Beat the Pro. If you want to try to beat the pro, join me on Thursday, 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I might do some Beat the Pro sessions over the weekends because not everybody's available from 1 to 3. What do you think? Maybe on a Saturday I could do a Beat the Pro. We'll see. This Saturday, maybe? No promises. Maybe. We might do a pop-up with Beat the Pro. Okay, let's see. Friday night we'll be back for Simply Social Let's Play live stream, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Next Saturday night, or next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, we're going to have a fundraiser Mahjathon, 24-hour Mahjathon, benefiting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So if you are interested in that, you can check out my website. Okay, here's my website. Go to events, then scroll down to fundraisers. And this is where you can find information on the Mahjathon. Click learn more. And everything is right here. There's an update video, a mission video from St. Jude. You can find out the 5 ways to participate by clicking the participate button. You make a donation, and then you can participate in several ways, five ways to participate. So I invite you to look at that. There's a flyer if you want to share. We just have a week to go, just outside of a week. We're going to do a silent auction where the proceeds will go to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. The guidelines are there if you want to participate. And we have 2 sponsors, MAHJLIFE, woohoo, and Mahjong Time. Those are our sponsors for this event. So take a peek at that if you're interested, and if you'd like to join us. You don't have to be there for the entire event, but I'm going to be there for 24 hours straight. First time doing an online Mahjathon event. I'm excited to see how it goes. It's going to be very interesting. I am going to put a timestamp index in the video description after the event. So if you're not able to go to the Mahjathon, you'll be able to look in there and click the timestamps for whatever segments are of most interest to you. So you don't have to watch the entire 24-hour live stream, although I invite you to do that. I invite you to be there live. I think that'd be fantastic. But if you can't be, you can always watch it afterwards and just watch the content that is of interest to you. Yes, have a great day, everybody. We'll see you in the next live stream. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Moderators, thank you so much for helping monitor the chat. And also, channel members, thank you again for your support. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Click the little gray bell if you do. That way you'll get notification for when I post new videos, and you won't miss an opportunity to learn a new strategy or pick up an insight to the game that could give you an advantage at the table. Between now and the next video, may all your picks be keepers.